Namaste and welcome, beloved, mighty companions. Oh, this is so holy to be here with all of you. And such deep gratitude for this, looking together in this holy light circle to start with infinite light. Because we can see that we're light, that nothing can change us. Even the desire not to be the light. And I'm seeing how much help we need from the light to see, to look directly at the denial of light, how deeply we want to say no, how deep that desire is to say no to everything that we are, and how powerful it is to look with the light and be willing to have the light, divine being who we truly are, show us where we're saying no. And that's really the willingness. Are we willing to see the no? The deepest of the deepest of the deepest no to light. Yet that's the easiest way to look in. I'm seeing that now after a lot of screaming and ballyhooing. When you finally see that all of that's a smoke screen over to not look directly. And so we have each other's hands to hold and to turn and to face and to look at the no, because we see we're light. We can see there are lights here. Nothing dies. Does the light change in any way? Is it looking to have a funeral? That was so good watching that movie, Expiration Date. It's so mystical. Or this guy, I think I mentioned it last night. And his father and his grandfather get killed by a milk truck, so he thinks he's when they turn 25, and so he's looking for death all the time. And it's such a perfect movie to really see how how the egos, we've abdicated to looking for death all the time. We've given over to the no, but we're not doing that anymore, because this is direct looking with Jesus. Like, okay, so I say no, I'm going to look at the no. That's the whole Course in Miracles, is just to look at the no and see, yes, I've said no. Yes, I've said no to everything I am. Nothing outside of me said no. It's a choice to say no to everything. So once again, thank you, Jesus, for bringing us together. Lesson 240. Fear is not justified in any form. What a great reminder. Let's ask the divine light. Is fear necessary for us to wake up to who we are in any way, shape, or form? He said, doubt is likely to arise, but fear doesn't have to arise. So let's ask the divine light. Is fear a desired experience to deny the light in the light of a divine being? And what does the light say? And we can ask, is fear ever necessary? Is this light out there making a requirement? Here's your checklist for waking. Fear, bing. No. Oh, direct looking is helpful. Fear is deception. And the light of divine being and honesty of God, is fear deception? And here the answer. So it's self-deception. That's why we need Jesus to show us, because we're so sure it's real. So like positive. I'm so positive this fear of the light is real. We do not know where we're deceiving ourselves. Jesus has made this abundantly clear here. So we have to ask. And thank God for that. Yeah, it was coming into mind, in coaching, we talk about blind spot. And I'd be going, what are you talking about? I don't have any blind spot. Yeah, that's this whole spiritual journey, that big jumbo blind spot. This huge blind spot. You're light and pretending like you're not it. So this is basically, okay, Jesus, show me that blind spot. Got a journey. So he's going to shine a light on where we're blind. We're blind and now we see. But unless we say, show me, we can't see where we're blind at all. He's made that so. That we need that voice and we can hear it. In the light of divine being, do we need the voice for God to show us where the blind spots are? It's like unequivocally. That we're the happy learner as soon as we say yes to that voice showing us where the blind, because then it's quick. Then the machinations and the side dancing and all those sort of things, that the sideways is that desire to go off and distract ourselves with the no. It all goes, it starts to go, because then we just go, okay, so here's how it's been played in the past, and I don't have to play that anymore. One, I no longer need to play the game of fear. And let's ask in the divine light, in the divine light of being, do we have the abject power to say no to fear and have it not appear? That's humbling. Yes, we do, unequivocally. Is fear a fabrication in consciousness? And hear what the divine light has to say about that. So it's self-deception. It's like a big distraction, fear, resistance. So the power is, instead of backing away, which fear tries to get us to do, right? We go in. We go in. And you can see that so beautifully depicted at the end of this movie. Instead of backing up, which we're trying to back the truck, he's running from those milk trucks the whole time he sees a milk truck. He runs. And you start to see, oh my gosh, I've been running from from the milkman. But that's how it works. We're running so that we don't turn into it. Turn into the and just go, show me instead of show me the money, it's show me the no. That's the quickest way. Just sit with it. Jesus, show me the no. Tell me where the no is, so that we can turn right into the no and say, and just be fully present with that no. Let him show the energy and just be with it. Remembering that the light is unfazed. Is the light phased by anything that arises in consciousness? So it's step into the no. Fear is deception. It tests that you have seen yourself as you could never be. Well, let's just ask the divine light so we really can, when you get the energy of being, when you hear it and it just like fully settles in, because this lesson, as each lesson, just sees where divine power is. It attests that you have seen yourself as you could never be, and therefore look upon a world which is impossible. Is fear a testament to us trying to see ourselves as we never can be in our direct experience as light? Hear the light, and we let that like fully land That's willingness. The willingness is to let these things fully land in the heart of recognition. The revelatory, the revelation that this right here, it attests that you have seen yourself as you could never be. We let that, like, just the admission, right? Okay. That's all it is. It's like a direct look in admission. Oh, right. Yeah, I got it. And therefore look upon the world which is impossible. Just ask Jesus, is fear the generation of the world? He says, yes. We can ask the light. Everyone can hear this, not just, is fear the generation of the world? The answer from the Holy One. The voice. This is how every single being has infinite power if they look and listen. And we can ask, can every being hear this? Now, we don't judge it if there's someone out there that doesn't seem to hear it, because it's only for us to hear. Because then we're going out and we're doing denial. As soon as we, like, quote unquote, judge something happening in form, we've jumped into the no game. Not one thing in this world is true. Let's be with that one and let that fool, because that's what the ego doesn't want to see. That's what's so hilarious when we get in an argument about what's true. Is the earth, 80 million miles from the sun, or is it 80.5 million miles? Do you get it? There's an argument. Is that true? It's a fun little factoid, but is it worth denying divinity over? But that's the world. Our world is the argument over the untrue. So it's so helpful to see we don't have to be involved in that traffic. So let's look. See the relief in not having to jump into that fray. It's like a light and a fire on our tail and running in a circle. What happened? When we get in those world arguments. So let's look at this one. Okay. Not one thing in this world is true. In the light of divine being and honesty of God, is one thing in this world true? Can we find anything in the light going? Trying to convince us that something in the world's true? This is the happy laugh. You see how we've just really been playing this game. It gets pretty funny. Okay, now. Not one thing in this world is true. Not a single zip. Okay. Okay, we just have to be willing to admit it. That's the question. Because there's so much energy in trying to make it real. That's what you show. You see how much energy you're putting in there to try to make this puppy real. Okay, it's like, yes, Jesus. I'm starting to see how much energy. Okay. It does not matter what the form in which it may appear. Okay, let's be with it. Okay, it does not matter what the form in which it may appear. Does form have anything to do? Does form make anything true? What we see with our eyes, like the shapes. Okay, so there's any sensory experience is form. So we're clear. Any thought is actually a form. We can ask the divine, is the thought a form? Okay, so we look in the light, thought is form, or emotions form, and hear what the light says. So emotions are form. Is anything other than light form? That's the answer. There's no way to escape the light. Okay, so we know that by direct experience, we can't escape the light. It's going to be. And form can form in any way, any form. Thoughts, feelings, emotions prove that the light's not here. And we find a way in any way, shape, or form. So we look in there. Okay. We get that part. So we can accept this. Not one thing in the world is true. And then we look, Jesus, is there any desire? Deny this sentence. Not one thing in this world is true. And then look with him. Boom, dead on. Show me, please, Lord, my Lord. I'm willing to see where I'm making things be true. The investment in making form true. We ask this question, is there an investment in making form true? Show me. And if he says yes, just be okay. So we just put that, see that just directly in the light, okay, where we're making form true. If that is, just be with that energy in the light as light beings. Okay, I admit it. Just admit. Okay. And then that's the whole thing. Then just show me where I'm making form true, trying to make it real. It does not matter what form in which it may appear. Okay, so is there any desire to make some forms true and other forms not true? If he says yes, we just, okay. It witnesses but to your own illusions of yourself. So Jesus, am I looking for witnesses to my illusions? So that's the willingness, is to see all the witnesses to the illusion, see through all the witnesses that we're calling forth to try to prove to ourselves that we're unholy. So just show us. Because they will appear in consciousness until they're cleared, until we cease to call the witnesses forth. If we call them, they're going to come. The witnesses of fear, the witnesses of the no, the proof of no, that God is dead. And witness, but to your own illusions of yourself. So just like because really ego wants to run from looking directly to see that it's creating these witnesses where the buck stops. So we're looking directly, okay, Jesus, I agree. I don't want to agree, but I agree the buck stops here. Because until the point where we're willing to go, the buck stops 100%, like not 5%, like not 95, not 99.9, but 100% the buck. That's how 100% the buck stops here in terms of the miscreation, like the desire for complete miscreation of a world. Is there any like little 0.2% in there, Jesus, where I'm not willing to take responsibility and have him show that even? Show me where that is. Oh, I want to see it. Because even that little slight 2% is death still. It's denial, supreme happiness. And this is the Supreme Happiness Club that meets every day. This is the Supreme Happiness Club. This is the only club worth being in. The Supreme What else do we need to see Jesus? Okay. Join the Supreme Happiness Club. That's the advertisement. But then when you start talking about it, it's like, oh, but what do I have to do to get in there? Just look directly. That's the fastest way. But I see how much running, boy. I've talked about this before. You know, it looks like those swans swimming on the water and they look so smooth, but boy, those feet are paddling underneath, really. So we really have to look at if we're, you know, Jesus has to show us where our feet are paddling because we don't know. Because we're pretending like they're not paddling, everything's fine. It's like, oh, I'm fine. No, you're not. You're paddling. You need Jesus to tell. You know, when somebody asks you, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. And you know darn well you're not fine. This is where we have to go, honesty of God directly. Okay. It witnesses but to your own illusions of yourself. Okay, show me the witnesses I'm creating. What witnesses have I had lately? This is so much power, the search your mind. Oh my gosh. The search your mind with Jesus. Smoking. Okay, Jesus, show and spending time each day on that searching. As there's nothing greater value. Time is light, pure deep listening, and letting the light, with no thought, letting the light teach, pure listening. And then the other piece is pure show me meditation. Okay, the search your mind, show me Jesus, where I'm pulling in those witnesses to illusions. So he can show you how they're untrue. That's all he's here for. Just go, they're nothing. Zip, nada, da-da-da-da. So we can laugh in the happy club. The happy club of supreme happiness, our only function. Let us not be deceived today. So asking for help in this is critical, really. Jesus, will you help me not to be deceived myself? And you can hear, will the light help us not to deceive ourselves? You can hear it's all in, you know, his light say no. No. We're the ones that are saying no to the light. That's the hilarious part. Okay. Are we willing to no longer say no to the light? That's just the question. If we are, just admit it and go, yeah, no, I want to say no. Because part of it is really going down this experience here. So and really looking with him at that energy. Oh, I want to, you know, I've talked about it before, and just be fully present. Oh, I really don't want the light at all. Not at all. I want to kick it out the ballpark, you know, just get that thing out of here. Even though it's impossible. That's why we forgot not to laugh, you know. Remember not to laugh. But that right there, oh, powerful. Powerfully seeing we don't want it. Let us not be deceived today. We are the sons of God. The Welcome to the Light Committee. Welcome to Infinite Light Committee. That's all our only function is. Because when we welcome ourselves. We're welcoming the light, infinite light of being. We are the sons of God. This is the best club of all. Supreme happiness, sons of God, together. You know, it's like the little bonus club, being together and as light beings. There's no fear in us, for we are each a part of love itself. So fear is the desire to separate. We think fear is happening to us, but it's actually a desire to experience separation. So this is really where that thought, well, all the thoughts of God have power over these things. We can ask, so any thought of God given in the Course have power over fear. See, the choice, that's a choice to use the thought of God over the seeming fear. Fear is a desire for objective experience, one object to act on another. You know, Jesus was talking about, or text talking about phobias. Like, let's say a spider phobia. He didn't talk about that specifically, but the principles apply. When someone has a spider phobia, they bring that spider, like there's a perception. Okay. So it's all fear's all about perception, that the spider is big and on top of them. So it could be across the room, but the way consciousness works, it's going to bring that experience like in right here, like, and so we, instead of going back from it, if we go into it and we join, see, it's a desire to kind of push it away and be separate from it, but join, like one thought of joining with a brother. You can try this in your direct experience when you're really in a state of upset, and in your mind, join with a brother or join with Jesus and see how powerful just that thought of joining is. That's why he keeps giving joining. Because remember, the fear is about desire for experience separation. So he's given us, see the resolution in joining, to come together rather than to try to use that as a witness to separation, that separation's real. It's been very helpful here. Or if we call it, we were laughing about this yesterday, the light handshake. You take the fear and you put it in the light, and you shake it, you put it in the light and see how it lasts in there. So there's so many ways he's giving all these lessons. He's pointing to the light and saying, put it in the light. There's no fear in us, for we are each a part of love itself. Does love know fear? What fear is? Infinite light. Does it know fear? Therefore, do we know fear in truth? Or is it just an idea in the light of divine being? We can see it's just, let that bird land fully in the heart. You can actually have a little sit-down session with Jesus, and I'm asking him. He says yes, where you just ask him, okay, show me where I'm desiring an experience of fear, and just be with it. How foolish are our fears? Okay, we can ask the light. Are fears foolish? Everybody gets the same answer. That's how we know this is true. That's how you know truth. Somebody asked me, well, are there different Jesuses? No, but the ego will make how many billions of people? We have 6 billion people. The ego will make 6 billion Jesuses. But we can see that when it's true, everybody's head's going like this. When it's known, you see, when it lands in the heart, when it lands in the heart, we can all hear it. And that includes anything, actually, because it becomes a resonance of being. So let's just say somebody comes and asks you something about you don't know anything about, but you can tap in because there's only one universal consciousness, and beyond consciousness, the light itself. You can see when we're really listening to that voice of light, the truth will speak within that light. So even the questions about, well, whose Jesus is it? That's a denial of divinity. I'm trying to make separate. There's the objection to Jesus. Who's hearing Jesus? Can one person hear Jesus? No, everyone can hear Jesus. It's just are they willing to listen? We now see this. Like, are we willing to actually listen to the infinite light and have the light just speaks for the whole. See that does the light speak? Does light have a personal agenda? So there's things that come from the light that serve the whole, that because we are the whole, we can all hear it together. We can hear the light speak on things that seemingly we're supposed to do, quote unquote, not supposed to do, but to see whether it's truly a calling of some in our hearts. It's helpful to have those symbols outside of ourselves. Now I'm seeing how powerful that is, that it just like, who seem to be like a figure, like a Holy Spirit, that seem to hear. We can hear, but it confirms, it helps us confirm our guidance together, because it can be heard. As long as there's no personal agenda in something, that's when it becomes dirty, when there's personal agenda. When there's unforgiven thoughts and someone comes to us advice, we're going to give them advice that come out of our belief system. Do you see? When a being comes, we're acting out of our total belief system. That's why we need Jesus, to have that come through from Jesus, because it's pure. There's no person in that. This infinite light. It's not attached to anything. It's serving the whole by what it says. That's why he's teaching us to listen to his voice, speak his voice, so we can speak from our universality in service to the whole. Or otherwise, we are speaking out of fear. See, when somebody comes, we have that little ego agenda inside, and we speak out of fear. We're agreeing. We don't see, we're giving false empathy to ourselves. Somebody comes up, well, should I, or we having a conversation. Jesus might tell you not to tell them anything, actually. Because everything that's appearing is for us, right? Ask the light, is everything appearing for us? So we're really learning to speak as what is true, as truth. See, there's not truth, a set of words that's truth. Is a set of words truth? See, this is how the world works. It tries to make, on the Bible, I swear that comes out of my mind. No, none of that comes out can be truth. That's a play in consciousness. See how that's a play in consciousness to find the truth, to go to trial and exchange words to make it true? Can a trial ever prove truth's here? The light's here. There's only light, infinite light. And then there's divine expression, which speaks with the full power of the light behind it. It has no attachments, fears, or, it sees there's nothing to fear. So it just, so that behavior of that seeming reflection in our mind that someone who seemingly is awake, we're all awake, we just pretending like we're not. Everything's awake. Just a bunch of sounds. It sounds like as though there's not an idea that awakeness and aliveness is here already. But we need that Christ light to show us where we're asleep, and we're in the play of the no, the play of pretending like we know something. When does the infinite light of being, does it know anything? Can it, when we look? Supreme Happiness Club knows nothing. We come to the club to know absolutely nothing. This is the club we go to, knows not a zip. And all the way together, we're given to each other as a holy gift to go all the way to unborn awareness. Why have anything else? Perfect happiness, supreme happiness, I'm in. There's no fear for us, for we are each a part of love itself. I just asked Jesus, because he said in an earlier lesson that every fragment carries the thought of God with it. And I asked him, so does fear? He says, yes. Everything always has a thought of God with it. Well, will we recognize it? That's the only thing. Because not even fear can mask the fact that the light's here, unless we decide we want it to. How foolish are our fears? That's supreme happiness, to see that they are foolish. Would you allow your son to suffer? Let's ask that. Would any of us allow a child to suffer? And that's what we're actually saying our Father wants for us. That's pretty deep. Would any father want their son to suffer? It's very interesting when we start looking, and Jesus talks about this in the text, about how consciousness really does play like the Father. It's miscreating, but it has to create along the lines of the Father, having Father with children and Son. It plays in the reflection with Father and children. And give us faith today to recognize your Son and set him free. Give us faith. We can actually ask. I'm asking Jesus. Yes, he says you can ask for faith. Help me, give me more faith. It's a call to ourselves. And set him free. Let us forgive him in your name. Forgive myself for what I did not do, that we may understand his holiness and feel the love for him, which is your own as well. That's it. Am I willing to feel 100% unquestioned love for myself as the Father loves me? And have no tolerance for fear or doubt. Jesus, I'm in. We in the only track that promises unceasing, infinite happiness without stop. In the light of divine being, is that here? Amen. Love you.